WTV Sports presentation. This afternoon, Channel 14 presents live coverage of the University of New Mexico Lobos and their conference opener against the nationally ranked Cougars of Brigham Young University. Provo Stadium saw their Cougars blast Utah State 52-0 last week, but the Lobos come off an impressive outing against Tennessee and smell an upset. Lobo football on Channel 14 is brought to you in part by Ajax Mobile Homes. We've got the spirit, and it shows. By Coors Premium Beer, the beer with a difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. And by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet.
Congratulates Joe Lee Dunn on the Lobos' outstanding game and has praise for quarterback Billy Rucker. Billy Rucker with a brilliant performance at Tennessee. This afternoon, the Lobos may have an even greater challenge here at Brigham Young University, facing the nation's number 11 ranked team, a team that has won 10 straight Western Athletic Conference championships and has won more games in the decade of the 80s than any other major college. Hi, everybody. This is Connie Alexander, along with Gary Ness, greeting you from Cougar Stadium in Provo, Utah. It's a splendid afternoon here. Crystal skies, temperature in the mid-70s, just a slight breeze. And the Lobos this afternoon, who had a great performance, outgained the Tennessee Volunteers, are going to have a tough defense to run against. The nation's number one defense. BYU also has the nation's number one passing team. But defensively, the Lobos will be running up against a gargantuan front three that averages 273 pounds. It's like 3/4 of Mount Rushmore, Gary.
Yes, it is. Number 99, Jason Buck, is their Outland Trophy candidate for the outstanding defensive lineman in the country. You know, over the years, we've gotten used to looking at the great BYU offenses, their Heisman Trophy candidates and receivers and running backs. But this year, the focus is on their outstanding defense. So the Lobos have an extra problem this year.
One of the things about that Lobo offense, it's designed to spread the defense out, and those three big front linemen can only spread so far.
Yes, and another interesting point, the wishbone doesn't usually block the tackles. But can you let the best tackles in the country run free? That'll be interesting to watch.
Something else to watch, the two quarterbacks, the brilliant Billy Rucker of the Lobos, number 12, and for BYU, number 8, Steve Lensley. He's the heir apparent to a long line of great quarterbacks. He had a good debut last Saturday.
Well, he started slow, had an interception, but they ran a few plays and they threw short patterns, but as the game progressed, he got better. And I'm sure that they'll open it up against the Lobos today and try to throw the ball deep and use the full extent of their offense.
BYU has simplified its attack somewhat because they do have some young players, but they look very good against Utah State last week. So 65,000 partisan fans will be rooting for the Cougars here this afternoon. The Cougars on this gridiron in the decade of the 80s have lost only 3 games by a total of 8 points. The kickoff in a moment. Live here in Provo, Utah, you're looking at what they call Y Mountain, the Great Wasatch Range, and the campus of BYU at the very base of the beautiful Wasatch Range. And now pulling back to look at the crowd of 65,000 at Cougar Stadium. They averaged 65,400 here last year, and the Lobos will be receiving the kickoff. Terrence Mathis standing on the goal line to the left, and BYU will be kicking. And defending the south goal to our right, and the kicker is going to be Chris Gurman. There is a breeze to the backs of BYU, so at the coin toss, the Lobos took the ball, and BYU will take the wind. However, I don't think the wind is going to be too much of a factor down on the gridiron because of the protection afforded by the stadium itself.
No, it won't, and here we'll be able to see what we came to see, BYU's strong defense against the varied and strong offense of University of New Mexico.
Notice that Rucker is standing on the Mathis is on the near hash mark as BYU has teed the ball up close to the near hash mark. The kickoff, and the game is underway as Mathis fields it and is going to run it out to the 10-yard line. The 20. Mathis all the way to the 37-yard line to start the game, and brought down by Jeff Wilcox.
A saving tackle. Had he stayed on the sideline to the bottom of your screen, he might have even broken it all the way. He hesitated just a little bit, but then made up his mind and took off.
There's the Lobo offense. Billy Rucker, the great quarterback. And the offensive interior line averages 246. Lobos in the wishbone. Both ends are split. It's a four-front even look with four linebackers for BYU. And Billy Rucker runs the outside option, and he loses a yard. And Mark Neal makes the hit. Weak side linebacker.
You called it, Connie. It was
Gary, excuse me. Jason Buck weighs 270. They call him the Buck the Truck. Futrell is 265, and Knight 285. And the two tackles stand 6'6". Sorry for interrupting there, Gary, but I want to point out those big front three guys that we talked about before the game. Billy Rucker takes it to the 38. It's going to be 3rd down and 9 as linebacker Richard Hobbs, 225, 6'4", makes the stop.
Well, in the first 2 downs, BYU has shown an even four-man front. They brought a linebacker up, and it looks like their plan is to play the option with a four-man front rather than their odd front that Tennessee tried last week.
The Lobos in the run and shoot alignment now as we go back to action, and Mathis in the reverse motion. 3rd and 9. Rucker flushed out of the nest. It's complete for a first down at the 47-yard line of BYU. Terrence Mathis with his 6th catch of the year, corralled by Thor Salanoa. Put that name down among the all-name list, Gary.
All right, here it took him 2 downs to figure we're going to do the run and shoot this week. There's a nice, after he got flushed, give some credit to Mathis for trailing that play well to help Billy and give him a receiver.
7 WAC officials headed by referee Jack Baker. 1st and 10 Lobos on the Cougar 47 on a big 3rd down conversion. Last week Lobos converted 7 of 17 3rd down efforts at Tennessee. Rucker on the sprint out. Good work by Billy Rucker for 6 yards. Brought down by Richard Hobbs as Lad Akeo had put the heat on him behind the line of scrimmage. And Hobbs is again there. Akeo, number 51, was the guy who was tracking him behind the line of scrimmage. And another look.
Now a key point here is the containment on the run and shoot. As it gets outside of Barry Luther's block, now it's Billy gets outside of the contained man and gets to 6 yards.
2nd and 4 on the 41-yard line. Burgess first down at the 35 of BYU. Richard Hobbs from Shelley, Idaho, and J.C. Von Cullen, another linebacker from Clearfield, Utah, make the stop. Put the ball on the 34-yard line of BYU, and the Lobos are percolating. They have moved it 29 yards and have gained 2 first downs. In the first 2 minutes and 10 seconds of the opening quarter, a scoreless first quarter here in Provo, Utah. The run and shoot alignment against a 5 front. Here's a pitch, Mathis with a little knuckleball effort, and he gets 1 yard, but Jeff Wilcox, a free safety, did a good job on him.
That play executes an option from the run and shoot set by bringing Mathis, the wingback, in motion. As you see him trailing there to the left of the screen, that's a deep pitch. That has to be right on target. Mathis with a good juke at the line of scrimmage.
2nd down 9, 33-yard line of BYU. The Lobos in possession. There's the big front 3 for BYU at the right side of your screen. Everybody else walked off. The line of scrimmage. Quarterback draw by Billy Rucker, and Billy dances inside the 30-yard line, and let's see what they're going to give him down there. Mark it almost at the 28-yard line. And from there, it will be 3rd down coming, and about 4 yards to go for the University of New Mexico. The Lobos pecking away, whittling at that BYU defense. And Billy Rucker keeps it, and it's going to be 4th down and about 3 to go as Akeo and Hobbs make the tackle for BYU.
Decision time now. They're blitzing against the run and shoot. There you see number 8, or number 9, grab Billy by the shirt. Now sets up a 3rd down and 3 or a long 2. 4th and 3 or a long 2. I haven't seen a kicker come in.
As I said, Gary, 4th down and 3. Whitehead goes wide to the left, Arbon to the right, wishbone backfield. And one of the officials, the umpire, is stopping the game, and looks like the Lobos are calling a timeout. Looks like the Lobos are calling a timeout. It looks like Paul Cates out there, and then Joe Lee Dunn coming to talk to Billy Rucker. The Lobos facing 4th down and 3 on the Cougar 27-yard line.
Well, if they get up in their run-and-shoot offense, that is, with only one remaining back, then the BYU strategy has been to use an odd front with Futrell at the nose guard, Buck and Knight at the tackles, and bring the linebackers as he tries to sprint out. That is, try to contain him with the linebackers. And now they got up in the wishbone formation that time, and Billy looked over and he saw that same defense, and there was something about it he didn't like to the weak side or the bottom of the screen, so he did the right thing. He calls, this is a very important drive. Converting this drive would actually give them as much offense as Utah State gained against BYU's defense in the entire game last week.
Watch all the action as the Lobos take the field against Texas Tech live from Jones Stadium in Lubbock, Texas, next Saturday night at 6 o'clock on Channel 14. Here we go. 4th and 3. Lobos on the Cougar 27. Run and shoot alignment against a 5-2 Okie front. Rucker looking deep. He's got his man Arbon. Touchdown. Arbon, who played at BYU, makes the touchdown for the Lobos. Arbon, who played at BYU, then went to the University of Texas, Arlington. They dropped football. He came to New Mexico, and Arbon probably has the greatest thrill of his life as he scores the touchdown of the Lobos lead, 6-0.
Gutsy call to throw on 4th down in this situation. Arbon, they're playing with the linebackers to contain his run. There it is. There's no one near Arbon. He just breaks through.
Joe Bibbo will attempt the extra point. He was 14 for 15 last year. Did not kick last week. Kelly puts it down. Bibbo boots. Bingo. 7-0. The Lobos lead. So the Lobos break the scoring ice. They take 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go 63 yards. Back in a minute.
Introducing the
back on the 26,000 student campus of BYU. That's Marriott Fieldhouse in the background where the Cougars play basketball, one of the largest basketball arenas in the nation. And this is Bill Bell getting ready to kick off for the Lobos, who are defending the north goal to our left. The flags on the south rim of the stadium are indicating a southerly breeze which would be blowing into the face of the Lobos. However, there are flags on the east side of the stadium that are almost hanging straight down on the flagpoles that are somewhat protected by the stadium itself. So I really don't think that the wind is too much of a factor down on the playing field. This is a beautiful stadium, and here is Bell for the kick as the Lobos lead 7-0, and he launches it deep to Parker. And he comes out of there with it. And Parker gets out to the 26-yard line. Robert Parker from Alexander City, Alabama. He was recruited by Alabama, Auburn, and Tennessee, a senior. And BYU will maneuver just outside its 26-yard line. 1st down and 10 to go. Lindsley will be at quarterback. And Coach Lavelle Edwards said that he was particularly pleased with Lindsley's performance last week. He was outstanding. And it seemed like everybody up here was pleased with BYU's performance as they beat Utah State 52-0, and they lead the nation in passing. Lindsley with a 5-step drop and a completion to Edwards, Jim Edwards, the son of the coach. And Anthony Stevenson makes the tackle. And here is the starting offense for the Cougars. Lakay Hemuli is an honorable mention All-American, and the offensive interior line. These guys weigh 270, 285, 270, 280, and 275. The second string weighs 282, 275, 255, a midget, 275, and the right tackle at second string, 305 for BYU. There goes Hemuli. Oh, and is he ever jolted? Hemuli hit by Fred Mady, number 77. And the ball back at the 29-yard line, a loss, and it'll be 3rd down and about 7. Danny Douglas, big guy for the Lobos, 260 pounds. And a look at the linebackers. Kelvin Johnson was injured last week. He's out of there, but Donnie Gassaway, you saw his name. He is in there as a starter. after knee surgery. He says his knee is about 85%. And now a BYU timeout, coming with 9:36 left in the first quarter. And in case you've just joined us, the score is New Mexico 7 and the BYU Cougars nothing, as the Lobos marched 63 yards and capped it all with a 27-yard touchdown play going from the quarterback, Billy Rucker, to the left wide receiver, Keith Arbin. Now we see Lindsley talking with one of the assistant coaches for BYU.
Lindsley looked up, and I don't think he wanted a man in motion in that play, and he looked up at Edwards. Edwards' son was in motion, and whatever it did, it destroyed his play, so he called the timeout.
Lindsley, his performance last week was ranked as one of the best first-game jobs ever by a BYU quarterback. Hey, watch the Lobos as they battle San Diego State in the Lobos home opener at University Stadium in 2 weeks. And then catch all the action that night, Saturday, September 27th at 10 p.m. on KGSW-TV, Channel 14. The ball is on the BYU 29. The line to gain is out just outside the 36, though it's third down and a little more than 7. So this is a major play in the game right here. Lindsley, 7-step drop. He reads the coverage. He's in trouble, and BYU's going to have to punt. And a flag is thrown over at the far side of the field after the tackle. Joe Sells, number 32, made the tackle. He is a senior linebacker from Phoenix. And now we will watch the referee, Jack Baker, and see what that flag means. BYU would be facing fourth and about 4. Face mask against the Lobos, a critical mistake coming after they had contained BYU. That's going to give BYU a dead ball foul, first down.
All right, now this is a drop back pass. I really believe they wanted to go one-on-one on the cornerbacks on this third down situation. But Lindsley reads the coverage.
First down.
The coverage is there, so here he goes now, tries to, well, number 32, Joe Sells. There you see Joe Sells on the tackle from behind, reaches across, got the face mask.
That was ruled an incidental face mask, and that's a 5-yard penalty, but just enough to give BYU the first down. And here is a completion to Bellini, their honorable mention All-America receiver. He goes out of bounds close to a first down at the Cougar 48-yard line. He is tied for 14th in receiving in the nation this week, along with Trevor Malini, the tight end. And this Mark Bellini actually last year was a second-team All-American and was 10th in the nation in receiving. And on top of all that, he has a pet boa constrictor.
And he's out there one-on-one with Anthony Stevenson, and everybody tries to exploit New Mexico's cornerbacks, but Anthony's getting closer.
Now they're going to measure to see if BYU got the first down, and they're going to bring the first down gauge all the way across the field to the near sideline, where Bellini was impounded by Stevenson. Gary, that was a tough break and a tough mistake for the Lobos after stopping BYU, and then that penalty and the 5-yard penalty gave them the first down by just a yard or two.
Well, it is, but it wasn't intentional, and the mistake was made hustling. So as long as they get after them in football parlance, those types of mistakes, you think you've got to have those.
It is a first down. And notice the shotgun formation as Lindsley is back. And it's caught for about a 5-yard gain by Heimuli. Lake Heimuli, 225-pound senior from Hawaii. Honorable mention All-American, and Bob Umden, stock number 51, makes the hit.
Well, this is your standard pro shotgun formation, and you might see that with any pro team. BYU's used this for years. Released the halfback upfield, and Bob Umden's stock stayed with him, but a nice catch by Heimuli.
Again, the shotgun. And the draw play to Heimuli, to the 45, to the Lobo 42, and I think he has the first down inside the 42. 46 for the Lobos is Gasaway. Mady and Torrey Edwards, number 47, in on the hit. And it's first down just outside the Lobo 41.
Now watch, Mady gets a hand on him, but Heimuli right here, 77. Mady has a hand on him, but Heimuli is just too strong.
32 is Joe Sells. Notice the Lobo defense, how they're split and spread out and how the tackles are angled in. 1st and 10. Here's the bomb. It's Doman on the 9. Tackled on the 5 by Stevenson on the saving tackle. Kevin Doman. Split in. And it's 1st and goal for BYU at the Lobo 5.
This would be a crossing pattern. The tight end, which is slightly split to the bottom of the screen, runs out. Wide receiver runs in against man-to-man coverage. With that much time, you can't expect the cornerback to run that far across the field and still maintain that type of coverage. The weakness was that there was no pressure on the quarterback there. Lindsley had all the time he needed.
And so it's 1st and goal for the BYU Cougars, as they've marched some 69 yards to this point. Heimuli finally entrapped by Omdenstock, 51. And he takes it to the 3, and it's 2nd and goal.
He really showed his strength there, didn't he? That's the sweep play. It's tough to defend against the goal line because sweep play, if you get your blocks, you can get some positive yardage no matter what. And inside the 5, that's what you're looking for.
Middle of the 1st quarter, Lobos lead 7-0. BYU threatening on the Lobo 3. 2nd down, goal to go. The Lobo defense outmanned by that big, huge BYU offensive line. And now BYU calls a timeout, spending its 2nd timeout here in the 1st quarter. And Lindsley, who is a senior but a relatively inexperienced quarterback, he was a 2nd-team junior college All-American. We're going to take a quick break here. Middle of the 1st quarter, Lobos lead, but their backs to the wall. Back in Provo, Utah, Connie Alexander with Gary Ness. The Lobos trying to establish a defense as they are meeting the BYU Cougars, who have a 2nd and goal situation on the Lobo 3-yard line. 65,000 people here. BYU this afternoon has marched the ball around 70 yards or so. Most of that passing. And the Lobos got about 2/3 of their yardage by passing on their touchdown drive. And here we are for the 2nd and goal situation. Lindsley spreading to the right. He's got a man wide open. It's Cutler. It's a touchdown. Looks like number 82 sprinting out to the back corner. That would be Chuck Cutler, and he was wide open as he beat the defense badly.
Now Thomas Crum, he sees the flow of the backs go to the bottom of the screen, now at the top. Thomas Crum, the corner, had read that as a run going the opposite way, but Ralph Martini slips out behind him, and of course the rollout pass complete for a touchdown.
And now the try for point that would tie the game as Chitty will kick. It is up and good, and the score is tied. And I couldn't tell whether that was 82 or 92 scoring the touchdown. Let's look again. If it's 92, it's Ralph Martini, his 2nd touchdown on his 2nd catch of the 7-7 as the Cougars will kick to the Lobos now. And we could not tell from our vantage point whether it was 92 Ralph Martini or 82 Chuck Cutler who caught the touchdown pass. We looked at reruns. Our monitors are not as large as the average monitor. They're only, I think, 10-inch or 11-inch monitors. So it's very hard to tell, but one of those two caught it. But if it was Martini, he's a freshman, and that's his 2nd catch of the year and his 2nd touchdown. Mathis, a vertebra vibrating tackle that his ancestor must have felt at the 16-yard line. Steve Kafusi made the hit. Kafusi, a linebacker, 240 out of Salt Lake City, a native of Tonga.
Well, no one has stopped anyone yet. Both teams have had 2 possessions here and 2 long drives for touchdowns. Billy Rucker returns to the huddle, and New Mexico will see if they can match it once more.
6:45 to go in the 1st quarter with a score tied 7-7, and the Lobos' Billy Rucker in the cockpit at the Lobo 16. Rogers in motion. The draw play to Burgess. Burgess springs for 13 yards out near the 29-yard line. Hobbs and Wilcox of the BYU secondary make the stop. Out to the 29, a 13-yard effort by Burgess, who rushed for 61 yards last week, averaging 3.8 and scored 2 touchdowns.
I'd like to give Barry Luther some credit for blocking Jason Buck on that play. Created a good hole.
Big nose guard Petrell opposite Scott Maney, the Lobo center, head-to-head. Rucker looking incomplete. Deflected by Von Cullen, the linebacker, number 9. Von Cullen from Clearfield, Utah, weighs 230. So it'll be 2nd and 10, Lobos at their 29-yard line.
Once again, we saw the run and shoot. Odd front on against that. Linebackers running with the receivers.
Whitehead goes wide to the left. Rucker, the southpaw from Gallup. Oh, can he quarterback? And some daylight at right tackle for Burgess. And then a KO is the cloud that fills the hole after the 3-yard gain. They're putting it down just inside the BYU 32-yard line. There's that big BYU defense. Front line, Knight, Futrell, and Buck. Futrell, the nose guard, 265. Here's 3rd down at about 8. Score tied. Rucker's in trouble, and the Lobos are going to have to kick from their 34. Jason Buck made the tackle. Jason Buck, they call him Buck the Truck. He was recruited by Texas, by Alabama, by Ohio State, and by others. And as a junior college player, set a record for sacks in one season. And now Keller will punt. 6th in the nation, averaging 44.6. O'Brien is the deep back, averaged 9 yards a return last week. Keller gets it away. Lobo bounce. Hill just inside the Cougar 20-yard line with 5 minutes left in the first quarter. We're at the very top of that press box, and we'll be back after this message. Back at BYU, Connie Alexander with Gary Ness. The Cougars will be 1st and 10 at their own 20, score tied. Keith Arbon, who scored the touchdown for the Lobos, may hold an NCAA record. He's in his 7th year of playing in college. His first year of college was at BYU. Then he went on a mission for 2 years, came back to BYU for a year or so, then had to sit out when he transferred to Arlington, and played at Arlington last year, and now for the Lobos. This is the 7th season since he started. Henson unravels a few yards up the middle before Torrey Edwards makes the tackle after Ron Keller's 48-yard punt.
Nothing fancy here. They just decided, let's go forward with our big front line, and that's exactly what they did. The only change in their formation is that they are using a one-back offense.
You see Lindsley batting 1,000, 5 for 5 this afternoon. It's on the 24, 2nd down on the long 5. Good protection. His receiver, Bellini. Bellini gets away from Stevenson. A flag is thrown as Bellini is finally down on the 37-yard line. Stevenson on the tackle, number 25. A flag was thrown around there. Face mask, maybe. Yes, it was against the Lobos. Another look.
All right, they're going to work on Anthony Stevenson because he's lined up so deep. Anthony's going to have to line up closer to the line of scrimmage.
There's the face mask right there.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
And Stevenson trying to grab him. Inadvertently got the mask.
The Tennessee receivers last week were so fast they had to give him that big cushion or distance. But Bellini's a great receiver, but his speed is not as great. He may have to crowd the line of scrimmage more.
1st down at the Cougar 41. Crossbuck, Hebuli, near midfield. Lake Hebuli, 225 senior. All whack last year. Computer science major. Thomas Crum credited with the tackle. Donnie Gasaway helped him. Put it on the 49 of the Cougars. It'll be 2nd and 1.
You see that guard moving out in front. And then the handoff on the sweep with the guard leading. Boy, when somebody like Heimuli gets his shoulders turned, he's hard to stop.
2nd and 2. Cougars at their 49. The draw play to Heimuli. Fighting for the first down. He's got it and more. Umdenstock 51. 28 is Lara. 23 Kirkendall. 25 Stevenson. First down, Lobo 45. Heimuli hunting and pecking through the middle of the Lobo defense to the Lobo 45-yard line. First and 10, Lobo 45, late in the first quarter. Little hitch pass. And breaking down to the Lobo 30-yard line is Richard Zayas. Umdenstock brings him down, and a flag is thrown back at the Lobo 40-yard line on the tackle made around the 30.
Anthony Stevenson did a fine thing. He turned that play back into the middle. Let's see if we can see. I think the penalty is a clip on Anthony. Now here's Bellini at the bottom. He fakes outside now. There he is. And Anthony turns him back in and with the blocker on him.
It was Zayas, number 1. And here is a big penalty against BYU, back to the 45, clipping
On the offense.
and the penalty
Still
takes it
first
back to BYU's 45. Is still first down from their 45-yard line. The package of downs originated on the Lobo 45, so it's first down and 20 to go. BYU with its tight end on the left side. It's a pro set. And they have twin receivers to the right with a flanker outside the split end. A crossing pattern and complete to Miles, the split end, who is jolted by 23 Kirkendall. Mike Kirkendall, a transfer from Henderson County Junior College in Texas, 200-pounder, hometown Longview, Texas. And BYU gains 17 yards to make it 2nd and 3.
Rifle shot there. Lindsley displays a strong arm. Now they're opening up their offense. They put Heimuli in motion that play.
On the Lobo 37-yard line. Lobos with a split 4 front. The draw play to Heimuli. Heimuli met at the 35, but he's got the first down. Lobos digging in there. Kirkendall, 23. Danny Lara, 28 on the scene. And it's first at the Lobo 33 with 1:53 left as we play here in the first quarter of action. The score is tied at 7-7. And Lindsley brings him to the line of scrimmage. Just outside the Lobo 33, you go by the nose of the ball. Here is a flag just before the snap. And an officials conference. Either the linesman or line judge has the call. Dead ball foul. Offside BYU.
You know, the draw play that they ran successfully on the previous down, that is such a perfect complement to the pro offense because it slows down your pass rush. It means if you can penetrate the line of scrimmage, you have to look for the near back and make sure he doesn't have the ball before you go to the quarterback.
Encroachment on the offense. The player lined up in the neutral zone after the center adjusted the ball.
Excellent description by referee Jack Baker.
Rather complete description.
Very good. First down. On the 15 to go on the just outside the 38 of the Lobos. Lobos with a 4 front. 4 linebackers, 3 deep secondary. Lindsley to the launching pad. His receiver is Heimuli. Little safety valve receiver coming out of the backfield, and Kirkendall makes the tackle again. Kirkendall stopping him around the 32-yard line. So it'll be about 9 yards to go as we look once more. Look at the hit by Kirkendall on Heimuli.
That's the first time Heimuli's been knocked backwards.
And another look.
He's been knocking the Lobos backwards, but watch this tackle by Kirkendall, 23.
Crunch. 32-yard line. Second down, 9, BYU. 49 seconds left in the quarter. Score tied, 7-up. That's Bellini in motion. Lindsley, a hard rush by Edwards, and Edwards knocks him off his feet. A sack for Torrey Edwards. The outside linebacker, 225 junior from Dallas, knocks Lindsley off balance. And Lindsley, who follows in the footsteps of great quarterbacks like Gift Nielsen, Mark Wilson, Jim McMahon, Steve Young, and Robbie Bosco. And now BYU faces third down and 16 to go at the Lobo 39. 15 seconds left and counting in the first quarter.
In order to get that pass rush, they've moved Torrey Edwards and Philip Vaughn, the ends, out wider to come from an extreme angle to get to the quarterback. Let's see if they can do it again.
Here's a flag and a whistle at the snap. Referee Jack Baker in a white hat. Dead ball foul. Delay of game. BYU took more than 25 seconds to get it snapped. And Lavelle Edwards, the great coach from BYU, 55 years old, 130 wins, 40 losses. In the 47 previous years, when he became coach, BYU had won a total of 171 games. He's won 130 games in 14 years.
He's marvelous. And such stability he gives their program.
The penalty takes it outside the Lobo 43, and it's going to be 3rd and 20. 3rd and 20 for BYU, and the clock runs out in the first quarter. The first quarter ends. After one period, it's a tie game.
The season approaches. The pack is on the prowl. Flesh and blood human beings have become fierce, ruthless animals. The Lobo.
Last year's nationally ranked Lobo offense will attack 5 teams in Albuquerque beginning September 27th. Call 27 Sport for your season tickets now.
Get the Lobo Attack Pack spirit.
See all the action as Marvin Johnson, 42-5, defends his WBA light heavyweight title against the #1 contender, Jean-Marie Amebi. 24 wins, 2 losses. Don't miss that great fight next Saturday night, September 20th at 9 o'clock after Lobo football on KGSW TV, Channel 14. Well, we go into the second quarter. BYU facing third down and a little over 20 yards to go. Just at the 44-yard line of the Lobos.
What might we look for here? I'll tell you what, they haven't shown a screen, but Hemuli's a fine receiver, and that's the play to come with here on a 3rd and long for a passing team. Or something way downfield.
He is hit 8 for 8 for 87 yards. Split backs. Lindsley throwing. He's batting 1,000. Bellini is there. It's intercepted by Lara. Intercepted by Danny Lara. And Bellini, for the first time of the game, does not make a completion. He hit the wrong shirt. That one of Danny Lara instead of Mark Bellini. And now a holding call against BYU back near the line of scrimmage. That will almost surely be declined. Fred Mady representing the Lobos, number 77. The Lobos say, we want that pelota.
Did you see Danny Lara turn there? He's playing the receiver first, but as the receiver looks for the ball, so does Danny, and Danny recovers.
Penalties declined. First down, New Mexico.
So Billy Rucker will set his team up at the 9 where Danny Lara made the reception, the interception. Rucker has completed 2 for 3, including a touchdown toss. 42 yards through the air for Rucker this afternoon. BYU statistically has outgained the Lobos, but the scoreboard is level at 7. Here's Rogers in motion, long motion to the wide side. Rucker sprinting out, eludes Buck, got a good block, passes upfield, and interference is going to be called at the 42-yard line. Whitehead was covered by number 3, Rodney Thomas. And a flag thrown up at the 42 of the Lobos, and there's also a flag back behind the line of scrimmage. And the officials down at the 17 for the discussion. And here is the word from the ref.
We have holding on the offense, pass interference on the defense, penalties offset, replay the down.
Boy, he's doing a good job. I think he's been lifting weights, too, don't you?
He looks healthy. All right, now Billy Rucker, he gets outside the contain here. Now he could run. He could run for a first down if he wants, but he sees Whitehead up in front, just to the screen. Now there you see, you can see right there, that's an excellent picture of the interference by the defender.
Good job by our technical crew here from BYU. There's the rushing statistics on Billy Rucker. Last week he was 20 carries for 97. It's first and 10 on the offsetting fouls. They just replay the down. Rogers in motion. Ooh, hard rush in there, but the pass away to Burgess. Burgess to the 11-yard line as he was hit first by Akeo and then finally contained by Salanoa. Akeo, A-K-E-O, Salanoa, S-A-L-A-N-O-A. And it's on the Lobo 11, and it's going to be second down and 8 as we look at Billy Rucker, who completed 10 for 24 last week at Tennessee.
Now that's a delay to Burgess. He couldn't quite get out there. Maybe later on we'll see him in motion to try to get him wider as a receiver.
Here's the wishbone configuration. A fumble. Looks like the Lobos may have come up with it. Still a Lobos ball. Rucker got his own fumble just inside the 10. Another look. Hopefully we'll have time. Killer is in on third down in punting formation here.
And Rucker is the up back. This may be a pass.
Killer punting on third down and about 10. Out of bounds at the 47 of the Lobos. So the net yardage is only going to be about 38 yards as the Lobos punted on third down. With 1:40 gone in the second quarter, BYU has the ball. Back in Utah, Lindsley at the line of scrimmage. BYU first and 10. The bomb downfield looking for Molini, intercepted by Crum on the 10. Crum back to the 15, to the 25. Crum down on the 37-yard line of the Lobos. The second interception thrown by Lindsley. In fact, I think it's on consecutive passes that Lindsley has thrown interceptions.
BYU has changed its strategy from throwing to the wideouts a one-on-one to trying to throw the ball deep downfield, and it hasn't worked. 2 plays in a row. The safeties have turned in, well, Thomas Crum's a corner, but the defenders have turned in an interception.
So they're going to put the ball just inside the Lobo 37, where it'll be first down and 10. Lobo bench celebrating. Burgess rushing this afternoon has 23 yards. Rucker has rushed for 14 unofficially. And here are some unofficial or official first quarter statistics. Total yards, almost even. Look at the next to the bottom line. Now there have been 2 turnovers by BYU here in the second quarter. In the early going, 2 interceptions. Coach Joe Lee Dunn. Scores tied. Rucker to Burgess. Burgess finds daylight for a first down out near the 49. And Hobbs and Thomas make the tackle. Now picture Burgess running the ball. His height, 5'9". His weight, 187. Now if he happens to collide with Sean Knight, Knight is 285, 6'6", a head taller, 98 pounds bigger.
Interesting thing, they want Knight to close on him in this wishbone offense. We'll explain that later. Here we go.
First and 10, Lobos at their 49-yard line. And a handoff to Burgess, and it looked like the timing was a little bit off, Gary. Burgess was a little late getting to the confluence.
You're right. It was a little bit off. But what they want those big linemen to do is to close on Kevin and thereby open up Billy Rucker's keeps off tackle and the pitch.
Hey Mooley carried 6 for 24 in the first quarter. 2nd and 8. Lobos at the BYU 49-yard line. Burgess storms through and Akeo makes the tackle. In the vicinity of the 45. Make it the 44 of the Brigham Young Cougars, and it's going to be 3rd and 3 yards to go to a first.
That was just a straight dive play. Everybody just blocked the person in front of them, and they forward surged. Give some credit to that offensive line. Donaldson, Maney, great blocking.
Kelly splitting wide to the right, Whitehead splitting to the left, wishbone backfield, even defense up front for BYU. Tried for the first down is Burgess. He did not make it. Futrell and Knight collecting. Futrell 285, Knight 265. Or Knight is 285 and Futrell is 265. And Knight, this big guy who makes the tackle, number 77, has a 21.5-inch neck. He wears a size 54 jacket, 37-inch waist. But one of the largest necks anywhere in the nation, 21.5-inch collar. Hulk Hogan is only 20.5 inches. Hulk Hogan 6'8", 303. The refrigerator wears a 20-inch collar, 6'2" and 318. Measurement short by just a bit, as you saw, and it's going to be 4th down for the Lobos. Now the question, do the Lobos go for it with a score tied and 11:35 left in the half?
Well, Rutgers staying in the game. It looks like they're going for it. They've got about as far to go as some of the size fish I catch. Or hope to catch.
4th down, and the Lobos are going to go for it. And no nose guard. No nose guard, and Rucker plunged forward for the first down. That was interesting that they didn't have a nose guard, Gary.
It is interesting, and it's also an automatic if the quarterback gets over the ball and there is no nose guard on a 4th and inches to simply sneak it, no matter what play is called.
Notice how quickly he called the play.
Yes. Behind Scott Maney.
And he gets to the BYU 40. 1st and 10, Lobos. Score tied, 7-all. 2 split ends. Wishbone backfield. 4-4 defense. And the Lobos are just going right into the eye of the storm. They're going right into that front 3. Knight, Futrell, and Buck with Burgess.
That is interesting, isn't it? The strength of their team, and they're going right at them.
And the Lobo offensive interior, left tackle Steve Parr, 261. Left guard Terrence Donaldson, number 62, 258. The center Scott Maney, number 50, 236. The right guard Brian McCabe at 243, wears number 52. And the right tackle Barry Luther, number 64, weighs only 233. The play action pass looking for Whitehead. He's got it. Oh, he dropped the ball on the 2-yard line. Rucker hit Whitehead, and Whitehead couldn't hold it. Coverage by 3, Thomas.
And you hear a 65,000 unison sigh. Because watch this. Right there and in his hands. Look at Matheson at the top. He is also running ahead of his defender.
Whitehead could not hold it. He had 6 points. Third down. 9. Cougar 39. Lobos want timeout. Billy Rucker wants to go over something. Coming over to talk to Paul Cates, who is on a headset connected to the press box with Ben Griffin. We're going to take a quick break with the score tie. Starring Joan Rivers, which premieres Thursday, October 9th at 10:30 on KGSW-TV, Channel 14. 3rd and 9, Lobos on the Cougar 39. Mathis in motion. And a sack by Knight. Sean Knight makes his 4th sack of the year. 6'6", 285.
All right, on a play like this, Billy's going to have to try to run outside and get outside the rush. Instead of coming back to the middle, Knight and Buck will close on him and prevent him from releasing the ball.
4th and 14. Keller back to punt. Wind should not be a factor. Virtually no breeze. High 70s temperature. Keller wants to stop it deep in Cougar territory, but can't do it. It'll be Cougar ball at their 20. We were mentioning the neck and jacket sizes of some of these big guys, and Jason Buck, the big guy, wears a 54 jacket and a 34 waist. Wilbur Stadium on the BYU campus. Sparkling sunlit afternoon. 65,000 patrons in the stadium. There's Heimuli. Heimuli hit on the left leg. I believe it was Stevenson. No, it's Crum. Number 6, Crum, was the man who got a piece of him and stopped him, but not before he had gained 21 yards.
Look at those guards coming at you. Now, this is a heroic tackle by Crum. Look at him playing off the blocker. Nice job by Thomas.
First down, 10. Cougars at their 41-yard line. Lindsley 8 for 10 passing, 8 completions, 2 interceptions. And Molini makes his first catch of the afternoon at his own 47-yard line. Trevor Molini, who caught 11 passes for 2 touchdowns and 186 yards at Albuquerque last year. He's the 3rd-team All-American. And he was highly recruited by USC, UCLA, Notre Dame, and Penn State. Trevor Molini. He's not only a football player, but a great trackman in high school. He can run. What a horse. 2nd down, about 4. And a draw play to Heimuli, and he's close to the first down. Number 28, Danny Lara, holding on for dear life in Lobo territory. First down, BYU. Boy, Heimuli is strong.
Isn't he strong? But those 2 guards that come at you, you know, it takes great courage to step in there when you've got about a quarter ton of beef coming at you.
Heimuli, 8 carries for a little over 50 yards. And here is the score. Oh, check this one. Southern Mississippi leading Alabama 7-0. First and 10, Cougars at the Lobo 47. Lindsley was hit by 46. No, it's 45, Philip Vaughn, who hit him first, knocks him off balance.
All right, they've put their 3 rushing linemen all together here, and the offensive lineman bottled them up, and then Steve Lindsay has plenty of room to run.
And it'll be 2nd and 2 here on KGSW-TV, Channel 14, Lobo 39. First quarter total offense, Cougars 103, Lobos 80. Again, the drop play, and Robert Parker operates at the halfback position. Gets near the 50-yard line, or I beg your pardon, the 39-yard line. And Tennessee leads Mississippi State 16-14 after 3 quarters.
Close game there at Tennessee.
Rucker this afternoon aerially 3 for 5 for 44 yards. Here's 3rd and a yard or so. Lindsley going to run for it. He's got the first down, I believe, just outside the Lobo 35. Excuse me. Anthony Stevenson over there. First down, BYU.
I don't believe Mr. Lindsley wanted to run with that ball. I think Parker was the called ball carrier, but somehow they missed the exchange. Lindsley paid the price because Anthony tackled him very hard.
Looked like Danny Lara, 28, was harassing him. First and 10, Lobo 36. 6.5 to go first half. Score tied at 7. Lindsley has good protection, and that's Bellini on the 20. Crum gets him at the 10. Bellini brings the crowd alive, and BYU is on the Lobo front porch.
Too much time to throw. Mark Bellini is an excellent wide receiver, one of the best in the United States. Very experienced, runs good patterns, and what he did was drag the middle. He lets the wide receiver clear out, and watch, he'll cross in front of your screen now, running parallel to the line of scrimmage, right there. Hard to cover.
Was he open on that drag route, and Crum with another good tackle. First and goal at the 10. Nose of the ball just inside the 10. Draw play, Heimuli. A swarm of Lobo tacklers after a 1-yard gain.
Almost looked as if Heimuli lost the handle on that ball there, too. Interesting, they put 2 wide receivers at the very bottom of the screen and near side, and in order to divert the defense that direction. All right, let's take a look at this. This is the previous play again. Now, what's the time that Lindsley has here? Well, he really has a rifle, doesn't he, Connie?
Sure does. Okay, second and goal. Excuse me, just inside the 10. Lindsley looks right. Wide open on the left side, and he missed him. Oh, he had a man so alone. Bruce Hansen had sneaked out to the left side, and Lindsley missed him. Oh, Lindsley could kick himself all the way from here to Salt Lake City.
The one who's breathing a sigh of relief is Bob Umdenstock, number 51, who was assigned to the receiver. There he goes. And saw Umdenstock trying to capture the quarterback.
Third down, goal to go at the 9.5-yard line. Pro set. Lindsley to Hansen at the 5. Touchdown! Bruce Hansen, his second touchdown of the year, a senior. That'll help him celebrate his 25th birthday next Thursday. And his hometown is American Fork, just a few miles up the road. The Cougars lead.
The halfback in the flat is a very difficult play to defend on the goal line. Don't have far to go. You get the ball out there where a person can run with it, and he slipped in the end zone. I do believe, though, somebody should have been assigned to him who left him go.
Chitty will try the extra point. He's 6 for 6 for the year, a native of England. He's got it. BYU 14, New Mexico 7. 5 minutes and 9 seconds left in the second quarter. The Lobos have a hill to climb when we come back. Team is brought to you in part by Ajax Mobile Homes. We got the spirit, and it shows. BYU kicking, Gurman. Boots it. Out of bounds, and they'll have to kick it again. And after a 5-yard penalty from the 35 back to the 30. At halftime, we have 2 interesting features. Paul Provencher has a feature on the Lobos' last victory over BYU back in 1980. Remember that great upset at University Stadium? Joe Morrison and Joe Lee Dunn was the defensive coordinator. And that was the only loss in 1980 for BYU. There is a quick recap of the scoring drive, an 80-yard march by BYU. And another part of our halftime show, we're going to interview the former Miss America, Charlene Wells. It'll be a live... No, I'm going to do it, Gary.
You get all those tough assignments, don't you?
Charlene Wells will be on at halftime. Miss Utah, who became Miss America year before last. That'll be a live interview here during halftime. Still a lot of football left this afternoon. Crum has it. No, it's Mathis to the 33. Tackled by Roger Price. Roger, a freshman. So a good run back by Mathis.
Nice wedge there, formed partly by Vaughn Simmons and Brent Kelly. Let's watch. Vaughn Simmons is 30, Brent Kelly's 13. There's 30. You see, it enables him to break through that initial surge of defenders.
BYU has won more games in the decade of the 80s than any other major college team. Best winning percentage, 66-11. They lost the first game in 1980 to the Lobos. And we'll have a feature on that at halftime with Paul Provencher. Rucker. And Whitehead lost the ball. Rucker hit Whitehead on the numbers again, and Whitehead could not hold it. In heavy traffic.
This play is designed to read the motion adjustment. We'll see Glenn Rogers, if we see it. Glenn Rogers comes to the bottom of the screen in motion, forces the safety to cover him, and therefore the hook is open, but unfortunately, Kenneth couldn't hang on.
2nd and 10. Lobo 33. Burgess for 5. Credit Akeo and Buck with the tackle. Buck at 270 and 6 feet 6 inches has been timed in the 40-yard dash in 4.6 seconds. He's a great pro prospect, the WAC Defensive Player of the Year last year, number 99.
Joe Lee says that it's almost impossible to block him legally one-on-one. You have to expend more than one man to block Jason Buck.
3rd down, 5 at the Lobo 38. Big play right here, 3rd and 5. Lobo's behind by 7. Burgess, is he fighting his heart out in there, but he does not get the first down. Buttrell and Von Collin and Akeo collaborate for the Cougar tackle, and it is just inside the 43, the line of gain just outside the 43, so it's going to be 4th and a foot, maybe a half a yard. Boy, what an effort by 33 Burgess.
Wasn't that? Look at him keep his feet, his drive, his balance.
187 pounds. 4th down, and they're going to punt.
Very tight punt formation you can see there.
And it's going to be a 9-man rush by BYU. Look at them bunched up there. There's a lot of grunting and groaning in that front trench. Ooh, what a lofty spiral by Keller. Oh, all the way into the end zone, touchback. Burgess has 54 yards and 10 carries going into the teeth of that gigantean BYU defense.
All right, this is a real test now for the defense. You don't want to get 2 touchdowns behind. Make them work for it. We'll see if BYU wants to start throwing deep again. They got burned a couple of times. The Lobos intercepted.
3.5 minutes to go in the half. Cougars lead 14-7. One set back. That's Haymouli. Lara chasing him. Vaughn chasing him. And I think it was Umdenstock who actually solved the puzzle.
You know, we saw number 35, Lakai Hamuli's speed there because that play was designed to be a draw up the middle. But as he saw it close, he just broke to his left and really kind of turned the corner there for 5 good yards.
It's a 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 at the Cougar 25-yard line. Incomplete. Intended for Zayas. Zayas, number 1.
A little bit of a change here. You saw those red shirts in there, and that's because they brought both linebackers, and that's really why the pass was errant, because it was forced too early.
Haymouli and Burgess are having a rushing battle. Haymouli 10 carries for 56, and Burgess close to those figures himself. 3rd and 5, another big 3rd down play. Fasten your seatbelts. Good rush for the Lobos, and a good catch by Doman at the 45. A tight end makes the catch. 2nd string senior tight end made a great catch on a critical 3rd down play at the Cougar 45. Look at this catch.
Now here's why they like Steve Lindsay. Now watch him hold his ground here till the last second. He really got nailed by Donnie Gassaway. Got it just over Umdenstock's fingertips. Pinpoint.
78 for the Lobos is Danny Douglas, 6'5", 260. One of the rushers. 1st down, 10. Oh, that was a big play. Sustains the BYU possession. Oh. Good tackle back in there by Gassaway, 46.
Donnie Gassaway ran through the line of scrimmage. 2 blockers. He ran through Lakai Hamuli's block, and Lakai just picked himself up off the ground and tackled Lindsley for a loss. Watch Donnie at the top. 1, 2, 3 blockers on him, including Hamouli, and wow, that's some effort.
Talked with Donnie last night about his knee. He said thinks it's about 85% well after arthroscopic surgery 22 days ago.
Isn't that amazing?
2nd down and long, about 20. Haymouli Struggling, 51 Umdenstock, 28 Lara. Hey Mooley, number 35. He's a hoss.
If there's a concern about New Mexico's defense, it's on third down plays. Here's another big third down play coming.
Third and about 13 it will be. At the Cougar 41. Three receivers on the left side of the wide side of the field. Good rush by Sells, and Lindsley breaks loose. He's got the first down, and even more. Great run by Lindsley. He got outside Kirkendall at the far side, and Danny Lara finally saved the day for the Lobos. Lindsley scrambled and broke loose, and he electrifies 65,000 fans here.
Oh, they almost had him 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage for a loss. Watch Joe Sells break through. He has a hand on him. That's 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Now he starts upfield. Now watch the blue shirts pick up his blocks. Lindsley's a good athlete. He shows some speed. There's Stevenson. He falls off of him. Oh, they missed some tackles on him, too.
He went all the way to the Lobo 17-yard line. 1st and 10. A minute and 3 seconds left in the half. Cougars lead by a touchdown. Shotgun formation. Flags on the play. Dead ball foul, illegal procedure against BYU. It'll be 1st and 15 at the Lobo 22. Lindsley got 46 yards on that run, the longest of the day.
Dead ball, illegal procedure on the offense.
This live Lobo football telecast on Channel 14 is brought to you in part by Coors Premium Beer, the beer with the difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. 1st and 15. Out of the shotgun. Incomplete. Doman.
Lindsley's pass intended for Kevin Doman, number 83.
Coverage by Marcel Weiss, number 20.
He still has too much time to throw the ball here. They did close off his lane so he couldn't scramble, but he had too much time to get rid of the ball. He undershot his receiver that time.
Play took only 5 seconds. 58 seconds left in the second quarter. 2nd and 15, Lobo 22. Screen, Heimuli caught by Torrey Edwards. Torrey, a transfer from Cisco, Texas Junior College. Great saving play by the left outside linebacker for the Lobos. The clock is ticking down to 42, 41, 40.
Great coach, and I mean, Torrey was looking for him out of the backfield. He was assigned that man. As the clock ticks down here and the fans are getting impatient.
BYU has 1 timeout left. The clock still moving down to 27 seconds. 3rd down. 15 to go at the Lobo 22. 20 seconds left in the half. Lindsley looked to the end zone. Lindsley brought down by the Lobo defense. Umdenstock. And the man who gave him a lot of pressure back there was 45 Philip Vaughn. And then Umdenstock made the tackle, and BYU uses that timeout now and stops the clock with 6 seconds to go and 4th down coming. And the ball is being put down on the 27-yard line of the Lobos. Borgia, number 71, you saw him for BYU, weighs 280. He was recruited by Tennessee, SMU, Florida, Purdue, and a bunch of others.
Notice how many Lobos have their helmets off here. This has been a long struggle for them. They've been on the field a long time, and they really had to draw from within to stay up, use their stamina, and they did it. That great play by Philip Vaughn.
Lindsley unofficially today, 11 completions in 14 tries, 2 touchdowns, 129 yards, and 2 interceptions. And looks like BYU is going to go for the field goal as they send number 6, Leonard Chitty, out on the field. He kicked a 49-yard field goal last week. He was a junior college All-American as a kicker last year, kicked a 57-yarder last year, set a national record. The line of scrimmage is the 27, so the kick would be about the 34, and that would make it a 44-yard kick. There is a south wind into his face, but I don't think it will affect the kick.
It appears it's within his range.
Yeah, his range we know is at least 47, and as recently as last week was 49, and this is a 44-yard try from the near hash by Chitty. Chitty, chitty, bang, bang, and it's 17-7.
Still, the Lobos, I think, that's not too bad. They brought him out from inside the 10 and forced him to kick a field goal, and that's somewhat of a moral victory. For that particular drive, anyway. I'm sure they'd like that score to be reduced somewhat.
And the clock shows 1 second. Now the clock will start when the ball is touched in the field of play. So the Lobos will have a chance to run it back. You think BYU will try any kind of special kick here, keep it on the ground or whatever? They're not going to try an onside. I don't mean that. But
no, I don't know. It depends on how much they don't want Terrence Mathis to handle the ball. Frankly, I think it'd be a good idea. To squib it and make one of the upbacks carry the ball, but you see there's Kenneth Whitehead, and he's got speed. Scott Howard back there. Although I think you'd want someone like that to handle it rather than Terrence, who could break it all the way.
German kicking. He was recruited by Army, Navy, and Princeton. There's the low kick. And the first half is over as Burgess returns it. Remember, at halftime, we have a special feature on the Lobos' 1980 victory over BYU and a special interview with 1984 Miss America, Charlene Wells. Victories occurred at University Stadium 8 years ago. The Lobos upset BYU in the opening game of the season. BYU went on to win something like 12 straight the rest of that year. And now we're going to have a report on that game with Paul Provencher.
Question. What do you think about when I say BYU versus UNM in football? If you're like most fans, you conjure up visions of an awesome Cougar offense, moving the ball at will, bombarding the air with passes, or mammoth BYU linemen dominating their undersized, undermanned, and underaged Lobo opponents. But you might be surprised to learn that some of UNM's best defensive efforts of the past have come against that same team from Provo, Utah. For instance, in 1957, Big Red held Big Blue to 0 yards passing and 0 completions. That's a school record. And then in 1970, the Lobos stopped BYU cold. The Cougars managing minus 96 yards rushing. That's a school record, too. Then there was that game 6 years ago this week. It's a game most Lobo football fans don't want to forget. It was the 6th of September, 1980. BYU and UNM at University Stadium. 16,840 fans that night. They saw it all in color. You'll see some in black and white. It was Jim McMahon's arm leading Big Bad Brigham Young against that newfangled blitz of one Joe Lee Dunn. This was the most confusing defense McMahon had ever seen. First he's dumped for 8. And then sacked for another 14. Then just as Jimbo felt he was getting his touch, he's picked off by Sheree Fields, thank you very much. And as if that wasn't enough to give the Cougars the hurt, look at McMahon later after meeting Big Bob Schubert. It wasn't to be the first or last crushing blow, because the Lobos scored on a bomb to lead 7-0. Second quarter now, and it's a 7-7 tie. And head bandless McMahon is dropped for another 5. For Lavelle and his boys, this is really starting to stink. Hello, Jim McMahon. Meet Rick Eidenschenk. So, okay, it was 14-7 BYU at the half, but the Lobos had the feeling they'd get the last laugh.
I remember seeing Jim McMahon, who's the quarterback for the Bears now, he had been sacked so many times, he was slapping the ball on the ground, and he was getting rather animate with his offensive linemen. And then they started bickering each other, and then I knew things were going to snowball and start going our way.
Late in the game now, and friends, it's getting downright bizarre. First, Frank Cedillo breaks up a pass. Then another sack by tough Greg Azar. Pete Park's 4 field goals gave the Lobos the lead. Meanwhile, McMahon and the troops just couldn't get a bead. Jimbo couldn't pass a lick, so he'd run for the down. Sorry, Mr. M, but you're 2 out of bounds. It's just 11 seconds now before the final gun, but Joe Lee's still not assured. Wouldn't you know it, Dadgum?
With about 2 seconds to go on next to the last play of the game, we let a guy get behind us in the secondary, and had they completed the pass and everything, they would have won the football game. So that was probably the one thing I remember more than anything else at this point in time. It was a thrill to win the football game, but we almost blew it even after playing so good for so long.
But yes, it was over. Lobos 25, Cougars 21. And as Jim McMahon would say, wasn't that fun? So this is the end of our flashback adventure. For Channel 14 Sports, I'm Paul Provencher.
Gary, we're live here at BYU Stadium. The Cougars leading 17-7. And we're going to take a look at some of the official first half statistics. BYU got in a field goal just before the half ended. First quarter, it was a 7-7 ball game. Billy Rucker throwing a touchdown pass to Keith Arbin for the Lobos. And statistically, the ball control has been in favor of BYU, Gary. I think that's an interesting stat. Well, looking here at Lindsley with a touchdown pass. No, it's the interception by Crum. Lindsley completed 8 for 8, in case you just joined us, and then he threw 2 consecutive interceptions.
Now, they changed their strategy from going to the quick, wide outside routes to deep middle, and New Mexico intercepted 2 of them.
These 2 interceptions occurred in the second quarter, but nevertheless, BYU gained 155 yards in the second quarter, and the Lobos had only 28 yards gained in the second period. So that indicates the dominance that BYU has established in the game.
The Lobo offense has sputtered throughout the second quarter. They started out with their initial drive that was beautifully done, tactically and executed well. But from that point on, they have sputtered offensively. Now, the defense overall, even though they gave up 258 yards, the last drive that they stopped inside the 10 was really an excellent effort.
And now we look at the official statistics. Perhaps the most significant, the second line from the bottom, 258 to 108 total yards. And then right beneath that, the turnovers. Now, what would those statistics have been without those turnovers?
Well, I don't think that those 2 turnovers figured much in the scoring because they were long passes. They weren't a fumble on the goal line that erased a score or anything like that.
So, in the first half, Rucker was 3 for 6 passing. Lindsley was 13 for 18. We're almost ready for the second half. Cougars leading 17-7 back in Provo, a beautiful city of 75,000 on the campus of Brigham Young University, where 65,000 fans are enjoying sparkling sunshine and a 17-7 Cougar lead. Quickly looking a little bit more at key first half statistics, BYU passed for 154 yards and rushed for 104 to total 258. New Mexico passed for 44 yards and rushed for 64 to total 108. Total offense was very close in the first quarter, but BYU dominated the second quarter. Rucker carried 9 times, but was held to only 8 yards, longest gain being 6. Burgess carried 10 for 55. Heimuli of BYU lugged it 11 times for 63, and Lindsley, the passer, ran 7 for 37, most of that on a 46-yard run when he broke away after scrambling. Rucker, as we said a minute ago, completed 3 for 6, 44 yards, a TD, no interceptions, was sacked once. Lindsley completed 13 of 18, was intercepted twice, 2 touchdowns, was sacked twice, and passed for 154. Receiving, Mathis, Arbon, and Burgess. Caught passes for the Lobos, Arbon for the TD. For BYU, receptions by Bellini 3, by Doman 2, and Henson and Martini each caught 1 and each for a touchdown. Keller punted 4 times for an average of 46.5 with a long one going 58 yards.
What that demonstrates to me is that Lavelle Edwards made the right decision when he selected his quarterback this year. Everybody was wondering about whether it would be Steve Lindsley or whoever. That Lindsley really showed me he has both the great athletic ability, the great arm, and once more, BYU opponents can face that.
Bill Bell boots. O'Brien at the 12. To the 33. They're going to give him the 35 and more. Crash landing by Mike O'Brien, who was recruited by Illinois, Purdue, and Missouri. Sophomore out of Chicago.
Important that the Lobos stop them abruptly here. Don't let them get a long drive. That took its toll on their stamina, that previous, right there before the end of the first half.
Shotgun formation. As you look at Lindsley's statistics, that's Parker around the left side, and Parker gets a first down. Donnie Gassaway on top of him, number 46. Donnie weighs 229, out of San Diego, junior. And Parker, number 43, away to the bench, 196.2. He's going to get married here in a couple of weeks.
He was their outstanding rusher in the previous week against Utah State.
First down on the Cougar 47. One back set. Good protection in that cup. 47 is Edwards. 45 is Vaughn for the Lobos.
That's what they have to do. They have to keep him from breaking containment and getting extra time to throw. Nice job there.
Loss of 6, 2nd and 16 coming. As the Lobo defense rose to the occasion. 45 is Vaughn. 47 is Torrey Edwards. They're the outside linebackers or defensive ends. As Lindsley barks the signals. And the slant to Hamuli. Tripped up by Danny Lara. And Hamuli got it back to the 46. It's going to be 3rd and 11.
Another important third down situation. Now watch the guards. Men on either side of the center. Here they come. Wow, look at that. A block out, kick out on Torrey Edwards. The only thing you can do then is catch it from behind, which Danny Lara did.
Nice play by Lara at the BYU 46. 3rd and 11. Parker in motion right. Lindsley down the middle looking for Molini. Too tall. Trevor Molini, 235, 6'4", junior from Sparks, Nevada. He was honorable mention high school All-American in both football and track. He's an international relations major. 4th down and 11 for BYU, and their punter comes out for the first time this afternoon. Pat Thompson averaged 45.5 last week.
Here is his stats for last week. He is quite some punter.
Mathis, 12. Good work by Mathis as he danced back for 10 yards.
Nifty little return, but Terrence is getting up a little slowly there. And is coming off the field.
A quick break here, and then the Lobos will go in motion. And away we go in Provo. That's Shane Hall, number 8, in motion, and Burgess goes up the middle for a nice gain. Burgess having a good afternoon. Linebackers Von Collin and Salanoa on the tackle. Burgess 10 for 55 in the first half. Long one was 11. There are the passing statistics on Billy Rucker in the first half. 2nd down after the 5-yard gain. Billy tries the outside of the triple option. He's nailed by Jason Buck, 99. Jason Buck, 270, 6'6" senior. You might see him in the pros. Buck the truck.
Well, I think you will see him in the pros. But Billy's probably asking himself is, why didn't I give the ball off? Because he didn't really close enough on him to elect to keep the ball like that.
It'll be 3rd and 6. Fake inside. Billy's going to run for the first down. He's got it. Von Cullen corralled him, but too late to prevent the first down.
Corner had run down the field with Glenn Rogers from that side. Billy wanted to throw it now. He's backing up to throw back across the formation, but he sees the corner's left his position, so makes the first down.
So the Lobos get fresh life, and they really needed it, down by 10 with 3 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter. A new sequence of downs at their 34-yard line. And a trap play up the middle to Burgess for about 4. And it's Knight and Hobbs on the tackle.
If they play their linebackers that deep, and if they play with that 3-man front, even though they are 3 terrific football players, you pretty well have to run at them, keep them honest. That's just what that play did.
Next week, BYU plays at 17th ranked Washington, and the Lobos go to Texas Tech, and we'll have the Lobo Tech game live Saturday night. You can hear Billy Rucker calling the signals down there, looking for a Whitehead, overthrows him. That was on 2nd and about 6.
That it may be the first time today that Billy has called an audible or changed the play at the line of scrimmage. We saw an awful lot of that last week against Tennessee.
Rucker at Tennessee led Lobo scoring drives of 56 yards, 86 yards, and 62 yards. And the Lobos need him to lead a scoring drive right here and get back in this game as they trail 17-7. 3rd and 6. Mathis is in the man in motion against the 5-2 Oklahoma front. And Burgess, no, that's Simmons, number 30 at fullback. And he is stopped far short of the line to gain for the first down, and the Lobos will face a punting situation. 4th and about 5. And Keller comes on stage.
Normally in a passing down situation, a draw play is a good alternative, but it didn't work out that time.
Ron Keller, a Colorado kid, and Mike O'Brien is the deep safety on the Cougar 18. Low kick. A running, falling catch by O'Brien. And it'll be down to around the 28 of BYU. So BYU takes over with 10:39 left in the third quarter. BYU is using a new quarterback, Mike Young, the great-great-great-grandson of Brigham Young, and the younger brother of All-American Steve Young. He's in for Lindsley. And a handoff to Hansen. A fumble, and it's picked up by the Lobos. The Lobos get the ball inside the BYU 30-yard line. It's Gassaway coming up with the ball. Donnie Gassaway, as Hansen fumbled the ball as he was hit hard.
I'd like to see what Anthony Stevenson did that play. That right cornerback, I know he was in on that. Let's watch for it now. Gassaway, 46, will force him outside. All right, there's a hit by Lara and Stevenson. Yes. The ball rolls free. That is the first good break for the Lobos in 2 games.
Gassaway recovered it on the Cougar 28. A big break here. Rucker intercepted on the 7-yard line by Long, and he's back to the 17. And he's tackled by Whitehead. Troy Long made the interception, a sophomore, one of only 2 freshmen to letter last year. So it's more like tennis than football right now.
Yes, it is. Unforced errors. Billy didn't quite pull the string on that play. The receiver was out there. Rogers was out there, but he short-armed it, as they say in football parlance.
First down. Cougars at their 18. The Cougars have the ball on a pro set. There goes Parker. Right. Got about 6. Mike Kirkendall on the hit. Boy, that Kirkendall unloads on you, doesn't he?
He really does. Did you see that ball roll free there? It was after the player was down, but Kirkendall, if he gets a good shot at you, number 23 in your screen, he really lays the wood to you.
Lobo football action on Channel 14 is brought to you in part by Ajax Mobile Homes. We've got the spirit, and it shows. Again, the one-back set. Hey, Mooley to the 27, near the 28. Close to the first down. Doesn't appear to be quite enough. Tom Cole, number 56, from Chattanooga, made the tackle. Watch a lineup that's second to none with Knight Rider at 5 p.m., Different Strokes at 6 p.m., and the Facts of Life at 6:30. Don't miss the premiere, September 22nd, only on the great entertainer, KGSW-TV Channel 14. There's the measurement. And you see how much is indicated by the ref, Jack Baker. BYU, 4th in the nation after last week in total offense. The Lobos were 25th after their 390-some yards totaled at Tennessee. BYU allowed only 73 yards to Utah State here on this gridiron last Saturday. Here's third down and just inches. There's no nose guard opposite the quarterback here for the Lobos. And the sneak straight ahead. First down.
You know, that almost looked like they had 8 men on the line of scrimmage. There was only one remaining back. Did the smart thing by just keeping it. It was just a matter of inches, so he kept it for the sneak. But it was hard to select who was that 4th man in the backfield on that formation.
And BYU earns the first down near its 30-yard line with 9:20 left in the third period, and the Cougars lead 17-7. Now, Mike Young is the quarterback. Hey, Mooley, fumble! Stevenson picks it up, and he cannot advance it. It'll be dead right there. The Lobos get it back at their 33 as Stevenson recovers Heimouli's fumble. The Lobos recover another fumble. That's the 4th BYU turnover this afternoon, and there are still 24 minutes of football left today.
You want to feel pressure? Imagine the ball rolling free like this in front of you. Look at Anthony Stevenson. Rolling crazily, and you know somebody's going to hit you. But you've got to try to cover it or pick it up.
First and 10, Lobos on the Cougar 33. Can they capitalize? Look at Washington pounding Ohio State. BYU goes to Washington next week. Mathis is in motion. Rucker keeps. Rucker on his first carry in quite a while. Knifes inside to the 28-yard line.
He read that like he was reading that wishbone offense last week. He watched the tackles close. He watched Sean Knight close, and then took it himself.
All right, here's an official report we've been waiting for. Steve Lindsley, the BYU quarterback, is out with a mild concussion. The report is he probably will return later in the game. Lindsley out with a mild concussion. Here goes Burgess inside the 20, and he wiggles down to the 17 before Wilcox makes the tackle.
Now Billy's reading the wishbone like it's supposed to be operated. Nice job.
So the Lobos have a first down on the BYU 17-yard line. Maney, number 50. Number 62 is Donaldson. 52, McCabe. And they're in the run and shoot alignment. And Burgess finds a yawning hole. Oh, the left side of that offensive line. Cut a swath for him, Parr and Donaldson, and he got 7.
But unfortunately, we see him limping off. I hope that's just a cramp. Vaughn Simmons is replacing him. The one run that Vaughn Simmons made replacing Burgess while his pants were ripped last week was a touchdown run. So Vaughn may have another chance.
Yeah, Simmons carried twice for 10 yards to the touchdown last week, and he's 30 pounds heavier than Burgess. Simmons weighs 215 now at fullback. Oh, the pitch in. That is Rogers turning the corner, and he's close to the first down. We'll have to see where they mark it. The line to gain is just inside the 7, and he's near the 7. It'll bring up third down if he didn't make it. It's going to be third down and less than a yard to go to a first down for the Lobos.
Very short yardage. Look for him to use Vaughn Simmons in this situation. Full wishbone backfield.
3rd and 1 on the 7. And Billy kept it. He meshed with Simmons, then disconnected, wanted to keep it, and Salanoa penetrated to bring up 4th down. Now it's going to be 4th and 3. And they're sending the field goal kicker, Joe Bibbo, on. He hit 3 out of 6 field goals last year, and 14 for 15 extra points last year, and 1 for 1 extra point this year. And it's a 27-yard effort. It's up, looks good, it is good. And the score is BYU 17, New Mexico 10, here on KGSW TV Channel 14. We'll be back for the kickoff after this message. And ready to kick off is Bill Bell for the Lobos with 6.5 minutes left in the third quarter. The Lobos trim the BYU margin to 7 with the 27-yard Bibbo field goal. Parker, 15 to the 29.
Darren Douglas, number 3 in your screen right there, got all the way through the wall and ran by the ball carrier. Maybe.
Now let's see who the quarterback is going to be here. Lindsley is back in. Now, we had a report. They brought a message to the press box that said he had suffered a mild concussion but was expected to return. His backup, Mike Young, was in for 2 series, or 2 different possessions. Flags on the play. Tackle near the 30. Torrey Edwards and Philip Vaughn are the Lobo tacklers. Motion against BYU.
That will probably be denied because Lakai Heimuli was met exactly at the line of scrimmage by the converging defensive front for no gain.
Heimuli, the great running back. The team of Heimuli, Bellini, and Molini, but we haven't heard a lot from Bellini and Molini lately.
No, we haven't. But they've, for some reason, BYU has grown a lot more conservative this second half.
It'll be 2nd and 9, BYU at its 30-yard line. Two wide outs for BYU and 2 tight ends. Lindsley to Molini. Yep, to 45.
The glory of that play from the strategy standpoint for BYU is that they establish a flow this way. Watch the backs and everyone. The quarterback reverses out. Now he rolls back the opposite way. The defense has run left, comes back right. That's hard to adjust your position for the defense.
Beautiful afternoon. Now some high clouds, but it's still basically a sunny day as you see the shadows of the players. BYU shadows at their 45 on first down. Zayas complete. Another first down at the Lobo 43.
Nice job by Lindsley, who read the blitz. Joe Sells came on the blitz and actually got to him just slightly late.
Exciting Lobo football on Channel 14 is brought to you in part by Coors Light, the Silver Bullet. There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet. First down, gang. Setting up at a new place. The Lobo 43. Whistles. No play. Hope we don't get one of those games where we get a lot of stoppage now by flags.
Well, the offensive right tackle appeared to me to have moved. I don't know if that's what the officials saw, but I think it's a procedural penalty.
And it's against BYU. Cinco. 5:40 left, third quarter. Cougars 17, Lobos 10.
Illegal procedure on the offense.
This is still anyone's game, and if the defense can prevent a score here.
Here's the score. Check this one in the fourth quarter. Mississippi State 27, Tennessee 23 at Knoxville. Boy, 94,000 hearts are about half stopped up there. Here's Parker. He may go. Stock got him on the 34. Serpentine safari by Parker.
He showed some real ability to cut back there against the grain. That always makes an exciting run, to see somebody cut back against the grain and leave everyone as though they're standing still. Umdenstock makes a saving tackle. A great tackle by Umdenstock.
To the 33 for another first down. BYU out first down the Lobos 13-6 in the first half. Slot left, flanker right. Vaughn, number 45, straightens up Heimuli.
They're watching for those guards to pull. The Lobo defensive front is now, and now when they do that, you saw Vaughn step in there and really hit Heimuli hard right at the line of scrimmage.
A loss of 1, second and 11. Other WAC games tonight. San Diego will be at Utah, and Colorado State is out at Tucson. Pacific is up at Laramie, and UTEP and New Mexico State, one of those backyard brawls. Second and 11. Going for the whole enchilada. Good coverage by Crum on Mark Bellini. Bellini, a senior, and Crum, a junior from Detroit.
Excellent coverage. Lindsley had nowhere to run, so he had to release the ball. He had to run one deep receiver. That's a safe pass to overthrow like that. Now we'll see what the crowd is anxious about, but actually it was Crum that had the beat on the ball. He had the position.
So it is third and 11 at the Lobo 34. Cole chasing him. And under pressure, 95 Randall Bell for the Lobos.
Fine pressure by 95 Randall Bell, because he forced him to release that ball. There was a receiver open, and Lindsley pays the price for this. He almost stumbles coming out from under his center. Now he's flushed out.
96 is Bobby Edwards. I thought it was 56 Cole.
And there it is. Just didn't have enough time.
And a field goal try coming. It'll be 51, close to 52 yards. This is a real test for Chitty on a field goal of 52. It's going to be close. No good.
At the distance.
Wide to his left. Stops the clock. 4:15 left. Third quarter. Mount Timpanogos, the Sleeping Princes, 12,000 feet. In the background, the Lobos have a chance. Lindsley has completed only 2 for 8 for about 25 yards in this quarter. Here is Rucker. Complete to Rogers in no man's land, and he gets a first down with a big gain of about 16. Oh, what work by Billy Rucker.
And what work by Glenn Rogers, and what work by Kevin Burgess, who chopped down the defensive end. Watch Burgess, number 33. Well, it was out of your picture, but he gave Billy the time, which he hasn't had up to now.
At the 50. Rogers looked so good at Tennessee last week. The fullback. Slashing. Burgess. Knight and Futrell on the tackle. Knight and Futrell, that's 550 pounds of humanity. At the 48, a gain of 2.
There it is. A good leg drive. Add Jason Buck to that trio, and you've really got some weight.
Second down and 8. Lobos at the Cougar 48. Lobos trying to tie it, trailing by 7. Good throw by Rucker. And he finds his receiver in the midst of 3 BYU defenders, Terrence Mathis. Terrence Mathis with his second catch of the day. A Lobo first down at the 31-yard line of BYU with 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter.
They read the linebackers, both Terrence and Billy do. Terrence knew he was going to hit, cradle the ball well for the first down.
He put it in the bank, as they say. First and 10 on the 31. Outside option, the pitch around the corner to Mathis. To the 20 and out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. Perfect execution of the triple option as Billy Rucker takes it to the third dimension.
Oh, it was, and if we see a replay here, look for number 81, Keith Arbon at the top of the screen, who scored the touchdown for UNM. Watch his block, which frees. Watch at the top, there's Keith Arbon's block. That gives Terrence the extra yardage. Nice job. Stan Quintana was proud of his player for doing that.
And Will Cox curbed him at the 20. Another Lobo first down. Lobos trail 17-10 late in the third quarter. And that is Rogers for the touchdown. Glenn Rogers streaking down the sideline, and a perfect toss by Billy Rucker, and now an extra point could tie the game at 17.
Oh, is Billy hot? He's reading everything, the run and shoot and the wishbone correctly, and what a catch. And look at that drive by number 24, Glenn Rogers.
Nice springboard effort by Rogers. Bibbo's going to try the extra point to tie the game. 17-16, the Cougars lead, 3 minutes left, third quarter, and Bibbo's got to make it good to tie it up. It is good, and we have a brand new football game in Provo. Cougars 17, Lobos 17. Another look at the touchdown.
That's off wishbone action. He makes a running fake to Vaughn Simmons. Pulls it out. Oh, that was thrown in there perfectly. If he waited just an instant too long, the coverage gets back on the receiver, and that play isn't there.
Boy, the Lobos executed that drive beautifully. We have a great primetime lineup this fall on Channel 14 with the movies at 7 p.m., The Fall Guy at 9, and WKRP in Cincinnati at 10. Don't miss the premiere September 22nd only on The Great Entertainer. KGSW-TV, Channel 14. Bell will kick.
You know, I think the clock scoreboard operator forgot to give Lobos credit for that extra point. It's
he sure did.
17-16 on the scoreboards here. I don't believe they're used to this.
The referee did signal good. The referee is about to make an announcement. Let's see. Jack Baker says, okay, let her rip.
There it is. Back on the scoreboard.
Now they've got the scoreboard reading 17-17. Scoreboard operator just didn't want to give up.
He didn't want. No, sir.
We have fresh excitement in this ball game. 65,000. They averaged 65,400 last year. Bell with a hefty launch, 65 yards to Parker. This guy's exciting to the 27th. Don Carpenter makes the tackle. Albuquerque St. Pius product.
Roberts is exciting, and he's going to stay in the lineup. Now watch this wedge. Watch those blue shirts. He dips to his right to get out of it, and nice run back by Roberts.
Good hit by Parker, or by Carpenter on
yes.
Parker. First and 10, Cougars at the 27. Now Lindsley is called upon for the first time to face pressure in his career. Little safety valve thing to Hemuli for about 3. And Umdenstock is there defensively with Mady.
That screen always looks like it gains more than it does because it's completed behind the line of scrimmage, but what a nice open field tackle, because he's going to let the defense run in behind Hemuli. Now watch this nice open field tackle by 51 Umdenstock.
So the Lobos have recovered 2 BYU fumbles and intercepted 2 BYU passes. 2 fumble recoveries in the third quarter, 2 interceptions in the second. And we have a little over 2 minutes left in the third quarter with the score tied. 2nd and 7 at the 30. Hitch pass to Zayas. He stumbles. Oh, look at that bunch of Lobos like sharks in a feeding frenzy.
Mady and Vaughn and Stevenson. Boy, hey, give me that football. They want it.
That'll be 3rd down and about 8. It's on the Cougar 29.
All right, this is a quick screen. This is what Tennessee used so effectively against the Lobos last week. But not on that particular down.
Shotgun. Big play. Parker at the 32. And they've got him, but I think he made the first down. Boy, he had a nose for that line to gain. Joe Sells hit him. And Parker is close to the first down, and he got it.
Parker did the wise thing. He saw it. He first of all looked to see if he could escape right or left, but now he's going upfield. Get the first down. He did a wise
look
thing.
at that stretch that he made at the end was what did it. To the 38. 1st and 10. A minute to go in the third quarter. Double slots. Watch Lindsley go. Bellini was partly open deep. I think the Lobo realized there was a run and didn't really need to worry about Bellini. Kirkendall, number 23, makes the stop for New Mexico.
Lindsley shows his great deftness of foot. Look at that, out of the grasp of Sells. And now watch him do a couple more jukes out of the grasp of Umdenstock. He's getting his yardage, but he's getting it the hard way this half.
There's Lavelle Edwards, ranks 5th among active coaches, right behind Switzer, Paterno, Osborne, and Schimbeckler. That's fancy company. Doman, first down, Lobo 43. Tackled by Crum.
That was simply a matter of having too much space in which to operate. Crum was playing off too far, and there's so much space out there to operate. That, in fact, I'll bet you that Lindsley called that as an audible at the line of scrimmage.
At the 43.5-yard line of New Mexico, let's call it the 44, and that's where the third quarter comes to a close. All right, we are at the end of 3 periods. It's tied. BYU has a first down when we come back. We're back in Provo, where it's going to be first down and 10 for BYU on the Lobo 44-yard line as we go into the final fourth of action with the score tied at 17 all. And now the BYU depth should start playing a role here, Gary.
But Jim Berryman's done a wise thing. He's been keeping fresh people on the defensive line of scrimmage for New Mexico.
Hard rush on Lindsley. .46 is Gasaway. Trying to pick up another number of the first guy who was in there penetrating.
Begins to look like the Lobo rush of old to capture the man behind the line of scrimmage. Gasaway was in there.
Just couldn't see that first Lobo number that played a key role. And the Lobo number's not real easy to see. The red against the white background. It is second and about 13. Lindsley has his receiver on a curl, and at the 36-yard line, Bellini collects it. Bellini, the great receiver for BYU, and they have about 2 yards to go to get another first down.
Not enough for first, but Bellini is your excellent receiver. He runs great patterns. He's good one-on-one. Not the man who beats you deep so much, but runs the great patterns, can get free for the short pass.
interception once again. Lindsley's got his man.
That's the play that has killed them this afternoon, the misdirection. It's a bootleg. He rolls one way, the backs go one way, and he rolls the opposite, tight end crossing. It's an old play, but it always works, especially against a defense that reacts quickly to flow.
Darren Hanley made the reception, and the tackle was by Danny Lara. Darren Hanley, a sophomore, stopped on the 6 by Danny Lara. Early in the fourth quarter. BYU now 1st and goal to go. Hemuli. Umdenstock, number 51, met him at the line.
How many times you think we've called Umdenstock today? What a game he's played. He held his ground there against Lakay Hemuli, and watch, Hemuli tries to go over the top. Does in fact go over the top. Bob was there.
He took it almost 3 yards. It's just outside the 3, 2nd and goal. Donnie Gassaway rallies the Lobos. A valiant band of Lobos from New Mexico. Here we are, 2nd and goal at the 3. Deflected and intercepted by the Lobos.
Guess who?
Umdenstock comes up with it. And let's see who made the deflection. Umdenstock with the interception of the deflection.
And what a happy band of Lobos.
Now let's see who made the deflection. Couldn't really see it. Maybe we'll have another angle when we come back after this message. Connie Alexander with Gary Ness and the crowd going wild here as the Lobos have intercepted BYU. And a pitch now to Rogers around the corner to his own 21-yard line, a 5-yard effort before Long and Wilcox. We're going to look again at the interception and try to see who deflected it.
Let's see here.
Umdenstock picked it off in midair, and Lindsley made the tackle. Looked like probably Donnie Gassaway deflected it. Total yards to this point, 362 to 199. So the Lobos outgained are just about to have about the same amount of distance in the third quarter as BYU. Now the Lobos call time.
That wasn't because of the crowd.
There's Joe Lee Dunn along with one of the assistants. So it's going to be 2nd and 5. Lobos at their 21. Early in the fourth quarter. We'll be right back. As the Lobos come to the line of scrimmage, the crowd roars. Billy Rucker over the middle to Arbon, and Arbon, who made the touchdown reception early in the game, gets a first down for the Lobos. Nice crossing pattern to the 40-yard line of the Lobos.
Keith Arbon's playing from home, playing here in front of the home folks. He's from Bountiful, Utah. He wants to win this game.
Tackle by Wilcox, the Lobo 40. Lobos in the run and shoot alignment. And Mathis is open. Mathis dropped it, but fell on it at the Cougar 37. Another first down on a 23-yard gain to the Cougar 37. Rodney Thomas on the tackle. Mathis on the reception. Oh, boy, the Rucker and Mathis and all those guys are hot.
The two wideouts ran a crossing pattern, and against man-for-man coverage, you cross receivers. That's the old rule.
1st and 10 at the Cougar 37. High game. Buck and Futrell tackle Burgess. 10:55 left in the fourth quarter. Cougars 17, New Mexico 17. At the Cougar 34, it's going to be 2nd and about 8. 64,385 official attendance. Looking for Whitehead. He trapped it. Incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd at about 8.
Billy wanted to release that a little quicker. Had he gotten the ball to Kenneth a little quicker, he had a chance to make a move on the safety and break for the touchdown. A little bit late in delivering the ball there. It's run and shoot now. They've got out of the wishbone, and they're using wide receivers, pairing wide receivers. You see Mathis and Whitehead at the top.
3rd and 8. Billy Rucker, play action, looking for Rogers. Interference is being called. A flag is being thrown around the 15-yard line. Interference, apparently against BYU.
It won't be difficult to see on replay. Now the receiver and the defender are entitled to the ball, but the defender makes contact. He goes over his back early, very early.
Interference against BYU. And that's going to take it. Let's see where they officially will place it. The line of scrimmage was about the 34. Now it's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot to the 19.
Crowd doesn't like it, but you don't see any protest from the bench. From the BYU side. They knew that was.
Lobos 1st and 10 on BYU's 19. And 64,385 fans are stifled for the moment. Billy Rucker. Triple option pitch, Mathis. Drumstick tackle by number 24, Shane Shumway, a geology student at the left corner.
This is a great open field tackle by Shumway. Watch how much room Mathis has in the open field. He did one too many moves there, and Shumway just said, heck with that, I'm going to bring you down.
They gain 6 to the 13, 2nd and 4. Pitch to Mathis around the corner. Butts heads to the 9 and close to the first down. Wilcox, the defender. Line to gain is the 9. And Mathis, 162 pounds, 5 feet 10.
And give Glenn Rogers,
first down,
at 174 pounds, a great block to seal that corner so that Mathis could get in the end zone.
1st and goal for the Lobos on the 9 of BYU. The Lobos have driven it from their 16, 75 yards so far. Rucker keeps, Rucker dances, he's on the 3. The tough and quick and strong Billy Rucker and Lad Akeo, who is recruited by Notre Dame, a transfer from the University of California, makes the stop at the 2.5-yard line. Watch Rucker go.
Oh, the wishbone is such a good offense on the goal line, and so frustrating for the defense. You tackle a man and he doesn't have the ball.
2nd and goal. 7 feet from the end zone. Score tie. Billy keeps and scores, and the Lobos move into the lead. The Lobos take the lead for the first time since leading 7-0 early in the game. It's 23-17 as Billy Rucker caps an 84-yard drive.
You tackle a man, he doesn't have the ball because Billy's at the helm and he's reading it well. He was not reading this early in the 2nd and 3rd quarters, but has come alive.
Kelly will hold. Bibbo, number 1, to kick. Lobos 24, BYU 17. Now, in case you're dreaming, I said Lobos 24, BYU 17. Hey, watch all the action next Saturday as the Lobos take the field against Texas Tech live from Jones Stadium in Lubbock. It'll be 6 o'clock on KGSW, Channel 14. Rucker has completed 8 for 14, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. And is rushed for a touchdown. And O'Brien returns it and fumbles it. And coming up with the ball is Murmur, number 55. Sean Murmur, number 55. The Lobos recover O'Brien's fumble on the kickoff return. The Lobos leading 24-17, and now they have the ball deep in BYU Cougar territory with 9:05 left in the game.
Don Carpenter forced the fumble with his hit. Don Carpenter, number 19, and Morris Givehand helped him.
So the Lobos went on a long scoring drive, as you see, and now they have a chance to move into the lead by 2 touchdowns. 1st and 10 on the Cougar 17. Wishbone backfield. Billy Rucker, touchdown for Billy Rucker.
Making it look easy.
30-17.
Oh, the wishbone is so frustrating on the goal line. You tackle somebody and they don't have the ball. You chase somebody and he doesn't have the ball. Who has the ball? Billy Rucker, 12.
And Bibbo trying to make it 31-17. Lobos trail 17-7 at the half. BYU has not scored this half. Hits the uprights, no good. It remains 30-17. Now a football was thrown out onto the field just before the kickoff, before the extra point try. I don't know whether it distracted anybody or not. The Lobos lead 30-17, 9 minutes left. Back for the kickoff as the BYU cheerleaders are trying to ignite the crowd, and Coach Lavelle Edwards' team is going to be called on to test its mettle here. They've lost only 3 times on this gridiron in the 1980s. They lost by 3 to UCLA, by 1 to Air Force, and by 4 to Nevada, Vegas. And the Lobos lead them by 13. Oh my, Bell must have adrenaline flowing all over. He kicked that thing about 72 or 3 yards.
He does. Now here I think is the one that the extra point attempt that hits the goal post and does not go through. Joe Bibbo's attempt after the last touchdown.
So the Cougars behind by 13. Can they come back? Lindsley to Hemuli, Lara, and Crum have him close to a first down. Lara from Colony, Texas, 185, 5'10". Crum from Detroit, 180, 5'11".
All right, now they know that they have scored twice, so the clock may come into as a factor, so try to get out of bounds. So Hemuli does, didn't quite get the first, but he stops the clock.
He did get the first at the 30-yard line. They're just moving the 6. Good blocking. Parker being trailed by Sells. Sells fingernailed him for about 10. Then got some help from Givehand. A Cougar first down at the Lobo 49. 8:43 left in the game.
Give Lindsley some credit for this. Look how much he had to dance around until he could find somebody easy, Parker there. Somebody open, excuse me, Parker. Parker does a good job. He really gets upfield, doesn't he?
Lara is number 28. Washington leads Ohio State by 27 in the 3rd quarter. Lindsley looking for Molini, and it's batted away on a great defensive play by Kirkendall, and a flag is thrown. A flag is thrown. Maybe a personal foul. There's Joe Lee Dunn.
Well, this is a long throw.
The foul apparently occurs after the deflection. There is a Lobo running into somebody after the action. A penalty coming up against New Mexico. A big one. 15 yards to the Lobo 34.
There it is. Now, you saw the ball batted away by Kirkendall, but there it is. Anthony Stevenson pushed the receiver.
On the defense. First down.
Rather unpopular decision with Jolie Dunn there.
First and 10 on the 34. Lobo 34. 8:16 to go. BYU's ball. BYU trails 30-17. Bellini at the 23. Stevenson has him at the 25. 9-yard gain. Missouri leading Utah State 17-7 in the third quarter. Some scores of other games, and these are finals. Boston College beat California. A flag on the play. We better watch that one. And a penalty against BYU. To the Lobo 44.
Holding on the offense. Still first down.
First down and 20. Georgia beat Duke today 31-7. Georgia Tech and Furman tied 17-all. North Carolina beat Kansas 20-0. In our game, in the middle of the fourth quarter, here's a draw to Parker. Boy, that Lobo defense is really hustling.
They are
46 gas away.
Converging to the ball. Surprised because that draw ate up the clock. They've, up until this point, at the time they got possession after the previous touchdown by the Lobos, they've done nothing but throw, but that was the running play. They don't want that clock to run down on them.
Sells helped turn the play in. Second and 15 at the 39. Lindsley backpedaling. Out of the backfield to Parker. Parker tripped up by Sells, helped by Cole. Sells getting up a little slowly. He's on his feet. Sells is trotting off and is replaced. It's on the 29, 3rd and 5.
Man-for-man coverage. Joe's man is Roberts, but he's laying back too far and letting him catch the ball, giving him too much space to run.
3rd and 5. Cougars trail by 13 points. At the 21, complete to Doman. First down for BYU with 6:51 left in the game. Lobos 30, Cougars 17. Cougars driving.
You know, you're tempted to tell Thomas Crum, get up closer to the line of scrimmage so you can intercept that, but you don't want to give them a touchdown all at once. You play back and make them keep the ball in front of you.
First and 10 on the Lobo 21. Parker at the line of scrimmage is nailed. Jolted by Omdenstock,
who picks him up after the tackle. Nice
penalties. The Cougars 55 yards. New Mexico 30 yards. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 at the 20. 21-yard line. Now let's see what that discussion's about over there. Second down, he says.
Well, maybe we can look watching the replay and see what it is, what the discussion is. Good penetration by Fred Mady. All right, let's see Mark the forward progress. Now he's hit on the other side of the 20.
It's at the 20 and a half now. Second down. Throw back to Malini, who drops the ball. A tight end on a tight end screen. And Malini, a great receiver, dropped the ball. That'll bring up 3rd down. Check this score. Mississippi State has defeated Tennessee. And in the second quarter, Notre Dame leads one of the top-ranked teams, Michigan, in Lou Holt's debut. But repeat, Mississippi State beats Tennessee this afternoon, 27-23 at Knoxville. 3rd down. 9.5 to go. Cougars on the Lobo 20, just outside that 20-yard line. Hard rush. Good defense by the Lobos. 77 Meade, 46 Gasaway, 47 Torrey Edwards.
They're going to go for the 7 points. They're not going to kick a field goal here, but give credit to Philip Vaughn. That was that misdirection play,
45.
the bootleg play that has plagued New Mexico's defense all game. But Philip Vaughn held his ground and didn't go with the flow and forced Lindsay to release the ball early.
4th down, and they're going to go for a first down or a touchdown. No field goal try here with 6 minutes left. Out of the shotgun. Looking for Zayas and Bellini. Bellini at the goal line. He's got it on 4th down. And Fred Meade, in disgust, throws his helmet to the turf as BYU makes it 30-23. Do they go for 1? Do they go for 2? 2 would make it only 30-25. They'll probably go for the 1. They lead by 7 with a conversion try coming. They have the kicker, Leonard Chitty, on the field. Chitty. Here's Bellini's touchdown.
Oh, I'd like to see that replay one more time.
Bellini on a flag route, and Chitty will kick. He's got it. New Mexico 30, BYU 24. 5 minutes and 51 seconds left in the game. The Lobos lead by 6. The Lobos lead by 6. And now the Cougars are breathing down their backs. Gary, a great football game. What do you think the coaches are thinking right now about what they want to do?
Well, I know what New Mexico wants to do. They want to run the wishbone, eat up the clock, and besides, BYU hasn't stopped it. So they expect to see the wishbone offense. What's real important here, Connie, is to run that kickoff out far enough so that you can get a little room to run. You don't want it backed up inside your 20. Very important to return it outside of the 20-yard line. And listen, BYU, this might be an opportunity for them to onside kick.
There is Coach Lavelle Edwards. Coach Edwards, twice an all-conference player, grew up just a few miles from here. His hobby is gardening. He was a National Coach of the Year 2 years ago. 5 times he's been WAC Coach of the Year. He's coached 11 WAC champions and taken them to 10 bowls.
And his wife is a local sports writer.
Yeah, she had an article in yesterday's paper, as a matter of fact. Pretty cute little story. If we get an opportunity, we'll tell you about it. Here is kickoff by BYU's Gurman. Down to Mathis. And he unravels yardage to his 27, where Roger Price makes the tackle. Well, BYU mounted quite a drive for that touchdown.
New Mexico knows what it wants to do. This is a good, safe run back by Terrence Mathis.
We probably won't see the Lobos throw too much with 5:46 to go. One good long drive might run out the clock. Incomplete for Whitehead.
What did you say? We won't see it throw?
Yes, sir. This is your friendly forecaster.
Well, they weren't even in the wishbone. I said they'd line up in the wishbone and run. They come out in the run and shoot. You know,
that's why sports announcers should not try to predict unless you got a prediction show at 9 o'clock at night or something.
That's right.
2nd and 10 on the 27. Into the maelstrom for about 2. Knight and Futrell, and it's going to be big play. 3rd and about 8. Ball is on the Lobo 28.
Now they have to throw.
3rd and 9, and Billy Rucker.
They have a nice screenplay, middle screenplay to Burgess that might be handy to run at this point in time because they know
Billy Rucker is a money man. He's a money quarterback. If anybody could get it done, he can do it. Flag. Looking for Rogers. Off his fingertips at the Cougar 45, but a flag back near the line of scrimmage on that third down play. Watch the referee now. Holding Lobos. Time remaining 5 minutes and 1 second. Score Lobos 30, Cougars 24. Here's the announcement.
Holding on the offense. Penalty is refused. Fourth down. Fourth down.
4th and 11. Keller back to punt. You don't want to outkick the coverage here. Kicking into a breeze. Not much of one. Nice kick. O'Brien out of bounds near his 45.
Good field position for the Cougars. Now defensively, what do you review with your players? Keep the ball carrier in bounds. Make the clock run. Keep the ball in front of you. We'll probably see some zone coverages here.
1st and 10. 45-yard line of the Cougars. Lindsley, who reportedly had a mild concussion early in the second half. Looking deep. He's looking for Zayas. He's got him on the 15 to the 7. A heavy artillery to Zayas. Crum made the tackle. Richard Zayas is the hero of the moment for BYU. He is a junior from Lemon Grove, California.
A deep one. He got behind the coverage. They sure weren't in a zone.
They've got it on the 8-yard line. 1st and goal. 4:35 left. The clock is rolling now. 4:30 to go. Live action again. Parker slanting to the right. To the 3. From number 6. Torrey Edwards, 47. For the Lobos on defense. Parker carried the mail to the 3. 2nd and goal. 4 minutes left. Cougars trail by 6.
They'll try to run this in. They'll try to use the good size and strength advantage. You got a full house backfield.
Hey, Mooley to the 1. That big Cougar offensive line, remember, from tackle to tackle, weighs 270, 285, 270, 280, and 275. 3rd and goal at the 1. Bellini comes in with a message from the bench. 3rd and goal. Power formation. A Mooley touchdown. It's tied. And now that extra point that hit the right upright for the Lobos becomes a big factor with BYU's conversion attempt coming up and some of the 26,000 students and 64,400 fans jubilant in Provo with 3:03 left in the fourth of the game.
But they made a mistake. They'd have to play defense now. They'll have to play defense. They scored too quickly.
City will try the extra point. He has not missed this year on field goals or extra points. BYU leads. Hey, Mooley, who has 79 yards and 18 carries, got the touchdown.
Well, it was was a valiant drive by BYU, but there are 3 minutes left.
What a football game. It was 17-7 at halftime. The Lobos have scored 23. The Cougars 14 in the second half. It's Bob London, one of the Lobo line coaches, the big guy in the middle there. And Joe Lee Dunn, 13 and 23.
There's still a lot to play. They've got a plan.
And only 4 plays to travel 46 yards for the Cougars, with Heimuli punctuating the drive. That's Umdenstock sitting down the left of your screen. What an effort he's given, as have all the other Lobos.
He has just been magnificent.
Umdenstock, 27 years old. He's the former professional baseball player, pitcher.
He'll remember this for a long time.
Terrence Mathis is the Lobo return man at the goal line. Cougars 31, Lobos 30. 3 minutes, 3 seconds left. Mathis. Touchback. Awesome kick.
It seems like the kickers for both teams have their adrenaline flowing. They're both kicking out of the end zone now.
Burgess has had a good afternoon rushing, 86 yards on 15 carries through the third quarter. Rucker, 17 yards on 13 carries through the third quarter. And there's Billy.
Let's see if they try the wishbone first. They're not in a...
No, they're in the run and shoot.
They're in the run and shoot.
And Rucker is down by 75. Cottrell, 265. Buck, 270. And Knight, 285. We're bugging him. The tackle on the 15. It'll be 2nd and 15. 2:40 left.
Backside pressure. Billy needs to keep running. They need to sprint out away from the backside. Watch, the rusher comes from off tackle behind him. He never saw him.
Billy gets it away. Interference is going to be called out around the 32-yard line.
You won't see any of their bench protest that, because that was very apparent.
That'll be about the 32 of the Lobos and a first down there.
Now Billy got outside the rush. That gave him time. That gave him the time. Now he can run to the sideline and wait for a receiver to break free. And there it is.
KGSW TV, Channel 14. 2:19 left. And here is the penalty of 15 yards. So it's going to put it on the 30, which was the original.
Pass interference on the defense. First down.
It's an automatic first down.
Reminiscent of the situation last year in Albuquerque. You remember that, where they had the controversy over the call?
First and 10. Lobos at their 30. 2:19 left on the clock. Lobos trail by 1. Complete to Mathis, to the 40. First down again. Mathis near the Lobo 42 or 43. And the first down will stop the clock at 2:12, and then it will start again as soon as they reset the gauge, the first down gauge. There the clock goes, and ticking at 2:09. Lobos just inside their 43, first and 10. All they need is a field goal. Billy Rucker eludes one of the Giants. Deflected by Hobbs. Incomplete. Looking for Mathis. Clock stopped. 1:52 to play. Second down and 10 at the 43 of the Lobos. 31-30. The Cougars lead. The Lobos facing second and 10 at their 43. Here are the turnovers. 6 by BYU, 1 by the Lobos. 2nd and 10. Mathis in motion toward the wide side. Pass to the 45 to Hall. Fights to the 46. Where Troy Long makes the stop. 1:39 left. Rucker 9 completions in 18 attempts for 151 yards.
Well, now this is a situation. Shane Hall's desperately trying to get out of bounds, but won't make it.
3rd and 6. 3rd and about 7. Flags. Whistles. I think there may have been a whistle before that tackle. I thought I heard a whistle. I'm just not sure. The tackle was by Knight at 285.
Both wingbacks came in motion, so that'll be a procedural penalty.
The illegal shift against New Mexico.
They'll decline that to give up the down gladly. But this is all 4th down situation now. There was some confusion on the sideline right before that was called.
On the offense, penalty is declined. 4th down. Timeout. New Mexico.
Referee Jack Baker gave you the whole story. The Lobos call a timeout with 1 minute and 18 seconds left, facing 4th down from their 39. They have to go 14 yards to get a first down. 4th down and 14. With 1 minute and 18 seconds to go, the Lobos have the ball, but they're down to perhaps their last breath as Coach Lavelle Edwards coolly calls for one of his troops.
Well, this is your big gainer. This is probably the play they would use for 2 points if they had to make a 2-point conversion. And I have to like that little screen pass they throw.
All right, here is the big play. 4th down and 14. This is a major play in the Western Athletic Conference race.
The big play of the year thus far.
Cougars 31, Lobos 30. 4th and 14 for New Mexico at their 39. Trying to see an official signal to see if it was ruled complete or incomplete. Apparently incomplete. Apparently caught very low to the ground. Let's see.
Well, let's see it. The BYU defender actually got between the receiver and the ball.
It's BYU's ball with 1:10 left, as the Lobos failed on the 4th down try. Tough play to see.
The Lobos have one more timeout to expend.
1st and 10 on the 39. The Cougars are just going to try to run out the clock with a fresh package of first downs. The Lobos use that timeout and stop the clock with 1:04. BYU leading 31-30. So last week, the Lobos fought valiantly at Tennessee, losing 35-21. Critical interception that turned a game that could have been a 1-point lead into a 14-point deficit at Tennessee. Today, they have led by 13 and then have seen that lead run through their fingers, and with only 64 seconds to go, they have only the faintest of hopes.
The only thing they can hope for is that maybe they
earthquake.
Yeah, an earthquake, something like that. But the Lobos, as you said, they have been a valiant team, but they just a little short, 1 minute and 4 seconds short.
BYU will face 2nd down and 12 at the Lobo 41. There is Lindsley's statistics. 26 for 35. Last week he was 24 for 37 for 369. So he is getting about 15 yards per completion for the season. Hand off to Parker. Brought down by Kirkendall at the Lobo 36. The clock is rolling. 54, 52.
It'll be
down
difficult.
to 45, and as far as the Lobos are concerned, that clock looks like a snowball rolling downhill and gaining speed.
And you can't get out of the way.
35 seconds left, third down and about 5. Lindsley is down, and the clock continues to roll. They have one down left, 22 seconds to go. BYU is going to have the victory. They are escaping by the skin of their teeth. 13 seconds. The crowd will probably count it.
Yeah. Give a lot of credit to Lindsley.
And 64,385 fans breathe a collective sigh of relief as the Lobos have almost defeated BYU. Let's try to give you a quick scoring recap if we have that available. Glenn? Our statistician, Glenn Smith. Our spotters today, Bo Baharovich and Corey Klimmer. Quickly, the scoring. Pass to Arbonne for the Lobos. For BYU, a pass to Cutler. For BYU, a pass to Hansen. For BYU, a field goal by Chitty, which ultimately was the difference. For BYU, a pass to Rogers. Rucker scored on a run. Rucker scored on a run, and then Bellini caught a pass, and Heimuli scored on a run, and the final score was 31-30. Gary, capsule recap.
Well, the Lobos once again, they showed some promise, didn't quite pull it off. I know they're sick of moral victories. They'd like to win one.
So the Lobos lose, and BYU wins 31-30. Join us next Saturday night from Lubbock. Now, this is Connie Alexander for Gary Ness. So long from Provo.
Lobo football on Channel 14 was brought to you in part by Ajax Mobile Homes. We've got the spirit, and it shows. By Coors Premium Beer, the beer with a difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. By Coors Light, the silver bullet. There's no slowing down with the silver bullet. More Lobo football next Saturday, live at 6 on your great entertainer as the Wolfpack return to Lubbock, Texas to tangle with the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Join Connie Alexander and Gary Ness live from Jones Stadium next Saturday night at 6 on KGSW TV, Channel 14. We bring the Lobos home.